Doing one of my favorite recipes, Harvard beets with a twist, my version. So we have about 3 cups of diced, cooked beets, and I'll be talking about how I arrive at this, how I prepare them ahead of time. So what we're going to do is we've got 1/4 cup of vinegar, 1/4 cup of water, 2 tablespoons of butter, and yes, you can use margarine. So we're going to heat this through. Before it's too warm, we'll throw in our 2 teaspoons of cornstarch, half a cup of brown sugar, we're putting in 1/4 teaspoon, a little bit better, of dry mustard. If you don't have any dry mustard, just use a teaspoon of your regular prepared mustard. But try to always have dry mustard in the house. It's great for so many different things. So we'll just wait for the butter to melt and for the cornstarch to cook. Between the dill and the brown sugar and the mustard, every part of your mouth gets a flavor. It's just so delicious. It's kind of like pickled beets, but better. And it's something that if you have even canned beets in the house, you could mix up this sauce, and instead of the water, use the juice from the canned beets, toss it in, and within minutes, you've got a really great side dish. So as soon as the cornstarch is done, and the butter's just adding this beautiful gloss to it, then add your beets. And let that simmer a little bit. After the flavors are blended, you've got a couple of options. You can put it in a serving bowl. Don't serve it too warm. Room temperature is the best. Not right out of the fridge either, just room temperature. But if you're not serving it right away, you can put this in canning jars, like little pint sealers, and then put it into your canning pod and process it for about 10 minutes. And then you'll be able to store it whenever you need it. Just bring it out. Don't even have to warm it up. Just bring it out and serve it to your family. It's a great put away for later recipe. And it just keeps getting more and more flavorful as it sits. Look at the beautiful glaze on that. Isn't that just pretty? So what we're going to do now is add our dill. You can use chopped fresh dill or dry dill. And that gives it that green sweetness, that beautiful dill aroma. Okay, so what I did earlier is, instead of boiling the beets in water with the skins on, I roasted them. I just washed them up, put them in a baking pan, no oil, no water, no nothing, just dry. And I baked them at 375 for about 45 minutes. These were quite large beets. Beets are tricky because you can bake them a little bit longer than necessary, just to make sure that they're done. But don't test for doneness poking them with a fork, because you're going to lose your juice. So just sort of gauge it, bake it. You can't really over bake it. So bake it long enough that it's cooked. And when it's done, the skins just fall right off, and then you can slice it or cube it, whatever you're doing, and then add it to whatever recipe you want. So much less work, just do it in the oven. It's just a terrific texture. There we go. All done. Beautiful, glossy, sweet, and yet a little bit pungent. You're going to really enjoy this. Give it a try, and it's a great holiday extra. There we go. Wonderful side dish. If you hate turmeric, this next recipe just might change your mind. Today we're making turmeric chicken. Let's begin by frying our spices. Whether it's whole spices, seeds, or a ground spice, it always benefits and opens the flavor if you fry it a little bit. So we're going to fry it either in butter, a little bit of olive oil, even coconut oil, anything that doesn't have a really big, impactful flavor. So we've got about 2 tablespoons of turmeric. Not just for pickles anymore. Now we've got the turmeric and 1 teaspoon of paprika and about a tablespoon of minced garlic. If you're using garlic powder, a good heaping teaspoon would be enough. A little bit different in values. So we're going to fry this together a bit, and the turmeric will thicken up the oil. Put about about 2 tablespoons or so of oil. And this sauce recipe is enough for 1 large chicken breast cubed, or if you make slices, you could slice it and fry it. However you'd like to change the recipe to suit your own tastes, you can use this sauce in whichever capacity over the chicken that you want. So we'll just fry this up a little bit and open up the flavors, cook up the garlic. Okay. And it's going to thicken up a little bit. If it's getting too thick, just add a little bit more butter or oil. Okay. Now let's add a little bit of salt, just a pinch. You can always add more later. So once that's heated through and cooked, then turn down your heat a bit. And we're going to add some cream cheese. A little bit more than 1/4 cup, maybe 1/3 cup. I just take 2 good dollops and Just add your cream cheese. You can use your light or your whole fat. I find the whole fat really nice because this isn't a high fat recipe anyway. So let that melt in. And if your temperature isn't on too high, it won't burn your cream cheese. And then slowly incorporate about half a cup of milk. You could use a whisk if you feel like it might lump. Use a whisk. I take chances. All right, so as you can see, it's really smooth. So just let that simmer slowly. Okay, now I've got just a little bit of apple cider vinegar, about 1 tablespoon. So we're going to mix in our teaspoon of cornstarch into the vinegar, just so it doesn't lump. And we're going to slowly blend that in. At this time, we're going to add just a pinch of cayenne pepper, or if you have red pepper flakes, you could use those too. So just simmer it up nice. Now we're going to stir in 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. You can use white as well, or even honey, but the brown sugar just adds a deeper flavor. Now, as it's simmering, I'm going to add my cubed chicken breast. This is the amount of like 1 large or 2 small chicken breast. So just simmer that nicely. This chicken is pre-cooked. If you have to hold it for a while, this is a good recipe. You can keep it on low on the slow cooker. Also, when you're first cooking your chicken, you can saute in things like snow peas, celery, and carrots, like some really tiny cut carrots, even broccoli. I don't like broccoli, but if somebody likes broccoli, this would be perfect with it. After you get a taste for how this works and the different foods that would go with this flavor, you'll be able to incorporate different vegetables. Hi, today we're going to make estrogen salad. And before you laugh, this is everything for a lady's skin and hormones. And it's going to be super tasty for everyone, but the ladies will especially benefit. So let's start. We'll start the dressing first. So we'll begin with apple cider vinegar. If you don't like it, use regular vinegar. But the apple cider vinegar just adds such a lovely flavor for that. Then I've got grapeseed oil. You can use olive oil, or avocado oil, but the grapeseed oil as well has special benefits. And if there's anything left, you can always put a little under your eyes. Then we'll add some garlic powder, or you could put minced garlic. All right. And half a teaspoon of paprika. All of the amounts will be in the information anyway. So then we've got 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. I like to use honey. And if you're really adventurous, use Manuka honey. It's really, really great. But it's a very pungent flavor that some people might not like. But in this sort of recipe, it goes, and it just adds a fullness of flavor if you can tolerate Manuka honey. And it'll give you the extra health benefits. And half a teaspoon of dry mustard. All right. And some parsley, of course. A 1/4 teaspoon of thyme is also very nice. It just adds a little bit of freshness, some zing to it. All right. So we're going to mix this together. And the dry mustard sort of conditions everything, makes it more saucy. And if you have fresh parsley, add that. Summer savory, any of your fresh herbs is just especially nice for it. And this can last in the fridge for a week. So you can make it and serve it throughout the course of the week. Don't have to worry about it. All right. So now we have 1 large can of mixed beans. And if your mixed beans doesn't have chickpeas in it, then go ahead and add, or any other beans you might like to add. And this is what gives it a estrogen balancing property. Beans are very, very good. All right. And with the apple cider vinegar, it reduces any effects from those beans, especially when we let it sit overnight. You never serve a fresh bean salad. You let it sit several hours, preferably overnight, and let all the flavors meld. Now we've got a carrot, which is very good for our vitamin A, good for everything that we need. When you add carrots to a bean salad, these have been parboiled for about 2 minutes. So just so it isn't really crunchy. Carrots also have numerous health benefits. Now we have peppers. These are yellow to brighten it up, because color is very important, not just for visual appeal, but it also feeds our energy. It's just so nice to see a colorful bowl. And as well, you'll be able to put celery and whatever else you normally would like to put in your bean salad. Let's toss in some onions. And you could put red onion in instead of the white. Okay, now let's put in our nice dressing. So to the 1 can of mixed beans and your other vegetables, this is about 3/4 of a cup of the dressing. Okay. And of course, you'll let it sit overnight or several hours. Make it first, then start all your other food, and then by the time everything is done, this will be well marinated. It'll come together nicely. There, that's beautiful colors. And you don't want it soupy. You don't need the dressing soupy and really wet in there. There you go. Now here's another side. Quick and easy. This salad is more fun when you add a variety of textures, colors. As you can see, I cut the peppers fairly large. You've got squares and rounds and beans and different little bits. And just make it fun, colorful, and it's all just so healthy. And substitute where you'd like. It's your salad. Enjoy. There we go. Here's a nice serving to add color to nice luncheon.